What do you think it says that they didn't draft a tight end and they didn't draft another running back? When you look at that in relative to the roster, what do you think it says?
I don't think it says much about the roster as much as it says about the draft class that they were selecting in. This draft class was not strong at tight end. This draft class was not strong at running back. And Andrew Berry's not going to force himself to pick positions just because they might have somewhat of a need there, right? Like his philosophy is I'm not going to draft a dud just because that dud plays running back when I can get a stud at a different position. I think that's just where it is. The running back class wasn't great. Next year's running back class is. If you need to get a running back, that's the time to do it. Same thing with tight end.
Let me ask you this. Do you think, given that they've brought in Ken Dorsey, they brought in Tommy Rees, do you think they play more 11 personnel? So, in other words, one running back, one tight end, 3 wide receivers. And they signed Jerry Jeudy. That's the other thing they did there.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to spread it out for sure. Like, that's just going to be what it is. That's what the league's turned into, right? You got to be able to be comfortable in 11. And the Browns were in a ton of 11 personnel last year, right? They didn't really run 2 tight ends a ton, or even when they did run 13, it was out of a spread, more so than like under the center. So, yeah, I mean, they're going to play around with different personnel packages. There's ways for them to have like a Jordan Atkins stand out wide and then a David Njoku be in line and still be technically in 11. It's just Jordan Atkins is one of those wide receivers in that 11 personnel. There's a lot of different ways that they could do. We've seen Ken Dorsey do this in Buffalo, and I think they're comfortable going into the season with Jordan Akins and David Njoku as their 2 primary tight ends. Also knowing that they also have to figure in targets for not just David Njoku and Jordan Atkins, but Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy, Elijah Moore, probably Jerome Ford. He had a really good year receiving the ball last year too. So I mean, you got so many targets on your hand that I think they're pretty much full is what they could do with the pass game.